Hey there, everybody. PTPOP here, leading you out of the call center rabbit hole, one grain of truth at a time. And today, we're going to talk about a call center located inside of a prison. So, this is a story I've already talked about a couple years ago, but there's a couple different prisons around the country that actually have call centers inside where to help rehab the prisoners to prepare them for release so they are more marketable and can find a job on the outside. Corporations have come in and worked out a deal with the local prisons so men and women can work in the call centers so they can get a better job once they reach the outside, once they're paroled or once they've just served their time. And there's one in Perryville, there's the Perryville prison, which is in Goodyear, Arizona, which is about 25 miles west of downtown Phoenix. And I found a video here where the local Fox affiliate, Fox 10, covers this story quite well. And let me bring this up for you. The Perryville prison. This is a story from Fox 10. Perryville prison inmates earn experience and money for life after prison.
Here in Arizona are changing, much of their focus turning to educating and rehabilitating inmates while they're being punished behind bars, giving them skills so that when they're released, they don't come back to prison.
And one of those programs is the Televerde call.
Look at that. Looks just like your traditional call center, doesn't it? Now, Televerde is a company that operates these prison call centers, and I've been in touch with them to try to get them to work with me on my documentary to discuss the rehabilitation of inmates in the prison so they have a better job on the outside. We'll see how it goes. I've been in touch with a couple different people.
Center at Perryville Women's Prison in the West Valley.
Take a look. This is the Televerde Call Center, a group of workers making business-to-business phone calls, selling technology solutions to companies to increase their efficiency and their profits. And while it functions like many similar call centers here in Arizona, there is a stark difference with Televerde. It is inside the walls of Perryville Women's Prison, staffed by the women who are incarcerated here, something that's a real privilege behind these fences.
The reason for my call today is I would like to discuss some of the recent innovations that we've made to our analytics platform.
The fact that I walk out of prison every single day and walk into being a human being, it means the most to me because I talk to executives and they ask for my opinion.
Well, I don't know what kind of calls they take there. It sounds like they're doing more business type calls where they're calling executives on the phone and giving them advice on purchasing software or something like that. Now, my question is, how old is this video? Let me take a look. This video is 2 years old. So, with the AI taking over everything, when these ladies get out of prison, will they really have a job? Will they really, they may have sales skills with which they can apply to other positions. But the problem they're going to have is when you say, hey, I worked in sales in the call center, people are going to go like, oh, next, please. Sorry. I know you say you have sales, but that's not the kind of sales I'm talking about. So is it viable? Is it real? Are they real skills? They could be. They really could be. They could get out of prison. You know, they've done their time. They can go out and say, hey, I worked for Televerde in this call center. It's a legitimate job, and they can get a job in the call center. But by the time these ladies are out, are there going to be call centers?
Hi, my name is Cindy with SAP America. How are you doing today? And after it hung up, it was just that boost of confidence that you really need to keep moving forward.
This operation, though, produces more than confidence or just self-esteem. 425 inmates work here. Generating
425, that's a massive call center. That's tremendous.
Over $300 million in revenue every year for well-known Televerde clients like SAP, Honeywell, and Adobe. The women here make the initial inroads to sales, then they send out teams of professionals who are not in prison to close the deals.
Well, it'd be hard to send somebody out in a sales call who is in prison. That kind of goes without saying. And I don't know what
joining us
happened to the
now
sound
is
there.
a former inmate, Autumn Moss, who's now a current Televerde worker. Autumn, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
I gotta touch her to let her know she's here back in the real world. That girl's like, honey, you wouldn't stand a chance behind bars.
Welcome.
So you are one of the big success stories we were just talking about. So you were released from Perryville in 2016. What are you doing now?
A business development, IMR, inside marketing representative for SAP.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Take us back to the beginning of your story. What landed you in Perryville
She looks really uncomfortable, doesn't she?
in the first place? And what was the life you were leading at that point?
So I actually really thought last night of kind of targeting that one thing that kind of tipped the hat on, a series of bad decisions. I had lost my grandmother, and I was very, very close to her. And so I think that it's that sense of loss, and I took it really hard. So not only did I lose her, I think I started to really lose myself. Yeah. So amongst a series of bad choices, riddled with addiction, I ended up incarcerated.
And how long were you there?
I was.
She didn't answer the question, but she must have done something short of murder. Maybe she robbed or stole. I don't know. I have no idea what this young lady did.
There for a little over 5 years.
So you hear about the Televerde program when you're in there. You have to be a minimum security inmate, correct? So you're getting close to the.
So they're minimum security. So you're not dealing with major felons or murders and things like that.
To going out. You've been a good inmate the whole time, and this is a privilege to be able to do this. Tell us about your introduction to Televerde.
So I remember when I first saw the group of Televerde girls, the way that they carried themselves. And I didn't know at that time that they were with Televerde, but there was just a different caliber of women, the way that they talked and the way they carried themselves, the way they engaged with everybody on the yard. And I said, I want to do what they're doing. I want to be like that. And then I found out that they worked for Televerde. And I said, okay, well,
So far I've done a little bit of research on this, and I found two prisons that Televerde operates. One is the Indiana Women's Prison, and one is this prison, the Perryville prison. And so far I don't find that they are using men. I don't know why. So far I haven't found any male inmates that are taking calls or placing calls.
To apply.
And then you learn life skills. And tell us about that, the type of things you learned while you were there.
Oh, wow. Televerde instilled just this courage and this self-worth and just this feeling of purpose that I didn't have in the past. And I'm just so thankful, between that and then our Arrowette program, which is just helping women prepare for transition, and then, really mentor them upon release. So.
Plus you get out with some money, right, which helps you as a seed money.
Right.
And this program is unique in what you do, but we have the Hickman's Egg people, we have Swift Trucking. So there's a lot of prison industries going on where people behind bars are learning skills and then getting out. So how effective do you think these programs are from your own personal experience?
Oh my gosh, they're impaired. I
wonder how much they pay them. So let's see, if you're an executive with Adobe and you're trying to cut costs, you call up Televerde and say, hey, we're spending a fortune on call centers with just traditional people out in the real world taking calls and placing calls. Let's work a deal out where we open up a prison call center. We'll pay them $3 an hour or whatever. I'm sure they're not paying them. They can't be paying them minimum wage. I don't think when you're in prison. Let's see if I can find out. Let's see here. Now, this is the AI bot that Google has here. It says in Arizona prisons, call center workers' pay varies, but some earn as little as 20 cents to 80 cents per hour in state-run Arizona Correctional Industries, or ACIs. While other non-industry pay can pay under $1 an hour, but more specialized tasks and certain private company arrangements can reach higher rates, though still below minimum wage. The official state law allows up to $1.50 per hour for non-ACI work, but reality often falls short of that. That's kind of interesting. So the Arizona Correctional Institute pays 20 to 80 cents an hour. Regular jobs, non-industry, 10 to 45 cents per hour. Higher paying opportunities, such as a small group of prisoners can access to better pay work, and some reports mentioning $4.75 an hour for private contracts. So my point is not, I'm not making fun of what they're doing here. It's a nice attempt to rehabilitate these ladies and get them out into the real world once they serve their time and get a job. But are the corporations that are initiating this with Televerde, are their intentions pure? Because number one, call centers are dying and AI is taking them over. And so once the call centers are gone, what are you going to do with these call centers? Okay. And once they get out in the real world, will they in fact have a job? Number two, these corporations aren't doing anybody a favor. They're trying to save the bottom line. They're trying to save money. And I have a problem with that because there's regular people who aren't incarcerated that are perfectly capable of doing these jobs, but you have to pay them health care. You got to have all kinds of insurance for the call center. If you run the call center, liability insurance, you got to pay for utilities. Televerde covers all that. So this is a win-win situation for both Televerde and for the corporation that hires them. They're saving a boatload. Again, nothing against what they're doing. It's a nice idea, and I think it's a good idea. And I feel for these ladies. But I ask you, are they really doing them any favor? Because once they get out in the real world, will they in fact have a job?
Industries going on where people behind bars are learning skills and then getting out. So how effective do you think these programs are from your own personal experience?
Oh my gosh, they're impaired. I mean, the importance is you can't even describe it. You know, we go in and we're broken away from our families. Some have children. We lose hope, you know? I mean, none of us thought, I think, that, you know, hey, we want to go to prison when we get older, or when we grow up. I didn't at all think that I was going to end up there. So,
well, you can see that she's struggling. You can see the pain, and she's very nervous. And I feel for this woman, and I feel for people that end up in prison. And a lot of people hate people who are in prison or have committed a crime against them. But if you look at people's backgrounds, a lot of people's backgrounds, there's things that lead them to that place in their lives. And I feel for them. I feel for everybody who is an addict. My father was an addict. My mother's an addict. I'm an addict. And there's a variety of circumstances that lead you to that place in life. And I don't think it's our place to judge. I used to judge my father a great deal. It took me years to find forgiveness and realize he was all too human. But
it means the world, you know, not only to me, but so many. And I think it just instills us of hope and feeling like, you know, we are worth something, and you know, we deserve a second chance. So
yeah, you do.
Congratulations on your achievements.
Congratulations on all your success. Yes. What an amazing transformation. And really,
so that's a great story, I think. I think they're doing a good thing. I think it's a nice idea. The corporations are saving millions of dollars. They're paying these young ladies anywhere from 20 to 80 cents an hour. That's better than what you're going to get down in Vietnam or Pakistan or India. You don't have to pay insurance. You don't have to pay benefits. You don't have to pay, you know, well, that's redundant, but it's a win-win for the corporation and for Televerde, and I guess it's a win for these women. They're getting some sales skills. They're getting some customer service skills. They can go out in the real world, and she got a job with one of the companies she had already been working with, which I think is tremendous. And that's often what you need to do. You need a connection on the outside to help you get a job. So let me know if you have known anybody to work at any of these prisons as in a call center. There's one in Indiana that I know of. There's one in Arizona. I think there's a couple others around the country. Let me know if any of the men have worked in these prison call centers. And let me know what you think. You know, it kind of sits uneasy in my stomach that, granted, they're giving these ladies some skills, but they're doing it to save some money. And somebody somewhere at the C-suite at the top of these companies said, you know what? We can save millions if we can open up a call center in a minimum security prison. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm PTPOP, and I'm going to sign off. Hasta la vista, baby.